Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Town of Beekman Zoning Board of Appeals meeting this evening, July 6, 2023. At this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Before we get going, a couple of housekeeping items. There are 3 exits in this building, one directly in front of you, one behind you to your left, and one all the way in the back of the building. Restrooms are behind you in the corridor to your right when you walk down the hallway. At this time, if we can please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to review and approve the minutes of the June 1st, 2023 meeting.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. So tonight's public hearing is for 17 Bow Lane for an area variance of a detached garage in grid number 6659-00-461851, zone R90. The applicant is seeking an area variance, section 155 attachment 2, schedule B as in boy of the town code, which requires a front yard setback of 75 feet. The applicant has proposed 42.5 feet and is requesting a variance for the remaining 32.5 feet. In other business later, the Conservation Advisory Council presentation led by Shannon Fathom for the Town of Beekman Natural Resources Inventory Project. I'd like to make a motion to open the meeting.
Motion. Second.
Great. If the applicant is present, can the applicant please come forward to explain the application and provide any proof of public notice post and registered mail receipts, please? Okay.
We've received them? Okay. Good.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening. I'm Jason Listrick of JL Architecture. I'm representing my client, Jeffrey Mayorino. He's the owner of the property. We are, yes, taking a variance from the 75-foot setback, and we're kind of in a tough situation because we are a corner lot, so it requires both front yards to have that 75-foot setback, and we don't have any side yards. And the situation we run into is that we believe this area right here, we have this concrete slab. This is where his septic system is and his proposed expansion area. So we can't really move back into that area. And if we move back to the 75 feet, it's going to be too far. The property, the garage is going to be sitting in the middle of the property. And applicant would like it closer because we already have an existing turnaround that's on his driveway. And we just like to place the garage as close as we can to that to save on asphalt as well. If we had a regular setback, we wouldn't be seeking this variance, but 75 feet is a pretty far distance to, set the garage back. We did consider, we looked at the shed. The shed is sitting on a foundation, so it's not like we can just pick it up and move it. It's kind of a permanent structure. So we did the best that we could just to kind of locate the garage right where the turnaround was, and that's why we're requesting the variance that we're seeking.
Questions?
Yeah. Could you tell us a little bit about the topography of the property from the road up through the house, please?
So it does, from the road up here, it does step up, and there is a road line of trees. So the garage would be screened from the road. heading back, but fairly flat. It just had a big drop right after that low lane. So it goes up from the road to the hill, and it's tree line, so you're not really going to see visually the garage from the street level.
So based on your professional opinion and expertise in this space, and the upward slope and the step up, as you just said, would that present a challenge to having this structure anywhere else on the property?
No, this area here is really the ideal place to put it. Over here, be in front of the house, and we can't get it in between this area here. It just wouldn't fit there. So the next best thing would be, in this general vicinity, and we chose this spot because it's closest to where the driveway turnaround, existing pavement already was.
The wood cord line that's in the proposed area, what is that?
I'm sorry, what was that?
In the proposed garage area, you have a line that says wood cord.
So what that is on the drawing. We designed it so the back of the garage has a little overhang, and he can keep his wood storage for his fire
Okay.
wood stove there.
How big is the garage?
I'm sorry?
How big would
24 by 24.
24 by 24?
Yeah, it's only 576 square feet.
Maximum height to the peak of the roof line is,
I would say about
It's like the garage.
10, 15 feet.
not higher than the peak on the house?
No,
Okay.
no. Just a single story shed roof. So we're low on the back here, and we come up probably about, I'd say about 12 feet.
And this gets put on a concrete foundation?
Correct. We'll have a full frost wall foundation with a slab on grade.
Okay. And the existing shed's size, what would that one be?
Jeffrey, how big your existing shed is?
As a ballpark estimate, it's probably a 10 to 15 structure.
Okay.
And that was every one, right?
Yes.
Now, you said that there would be a line of trees covering
Yeah,
this.
the existing grove trees. Pretty much all along the lane right here. There's a full line of
How,
tree line.
how,
And this is all clear here.
how many of these trees would be disturbed for the construction
No trees.
at all?
Nope, this is already clear. There used to be, looked like a playground somewhere, but there's some concrete pads existing. So this area is all cleared already. So we wouldn't be disturbing any of the existing trees.
Two questions, please. First question is, have you done any testing on the soil in the area for rock? I mean, are you going to have to use, John Deere jackhammers to really break through the bedrock, or is it fairly simple?
I think it's very simple because one, the shed is sitting on there, and if they do, because we're only 576 square feet, we could not do the full 42, and we could do a monolithic slab if it is all bedrock. We're choosing to go with the 42 just because it's going to be a stronger, more stable garage.
Understood. I asked that question because you can understand the neighbors in the community if they start seeing Caterpillar and John Deere equipment coming in and out and smoke and dust everywhere. You might have a few neighbors that, send you phone calls and
Yeah,
Yeah.
and based on some of the slabs there, I don't foresee, I mean, it might hit a little bit of rock, but I don't foresee it being like bedrock with like a hammer or anything like that. And like I said, even if we do, we can always pin the foundation to the rock.
the other question I have, thank you. The other question is, could you tell us the existing square footage of the principal residence, please?
Sure.
About 1,900 feet, yeah.
Mr. Chairman, the code says that the scale and character of the structure cannot exceed 25% of the principal structure, which would be the house. So I just want to make sure you note that on your plans, that if it does require more than that, that this board is going to consider that tonight as part of the variance application. The other question you might want to ask the applicant is whether or not, or you might want to establish, is whether or not the proposed structure is within 10 feet of a septic system or leach field.
Yeah, no, we believe the septic system is right in this area, which is behind the existing shed.
So it exceeds 10 feet.
Yes.
Right to the math.
That's a bit-
Give us a
that's
second
big
while we check
garage.
our square footage to 25% of the principal structure.
Yeah, so we'll be a little bit over 576.
Yeah, you're about 100 square feet over.
The house is a little bigger.
Yeah, well, it's just shy of 2,000. I don't know the exact number, so I was giving you a ballpark. 1980, give or take. Either way.
No, I mean, normally it's another variance they should ask for. Ask Craig if it's something that can be applied for or amended at this point.
Yeah, that could be part of the,
It can be, we can amend it here.
you should consider it. It's a 100-foot area variance,
100 square feet.
100 square feet.
On top of what's being asked for.
No, and
And
Those
it
two separate
exceeds,
variances.
it
Yes.
exceeds the proper, the
Yes.
maximum.
Yeah. So is that a variance that they
I'm gonna check parcel access for square
Yeah.
footage right now.
That's a big garage.
Well, it exceeds the...
They see, right? Yeah, that's a big garage. Out of curiosity, if you could tell me, does the house already have a garage or not? It does have a two-car garage?
It does.
And the structure will mainly be used for more vehicles or,
It's probably
Storage.
going to be multiple uses, storage, hobbies, and probably taking some vehicles, yeah.
What's the-
1998 square feet.
What's the address? 17 bucks.
17 BOWE.
About 76 square feet over.
Still over.
That's
oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's a big garage.
So, there's a couple things to decide on, because we don't have an accurate of where the septic is, right? I mean, we're assuming,
Jason, on this map, are you able to point out approximately where the septic system is?
Yeah, we believe it's right in this area here behind the shed,
Okay.
because we have a concrete pad here, and I believe it comes out of the house right in this direction. I
Is-
think it was on the development, we had the subdivision plan originally. I didn't bring a copy of that, but I think it's like a septic system on there.
It might be on that plan, but not the survey.
Yeah, it's on the original subdivision plan.
Yeah.
do we have any reason to believe that it's down there where you put the shed?
Yeah, that's why originally we put it back here, and in meeting with the client, he didn't want it back here because we were afraid we were running into where the septic system was. So we made a decision to move it up out of there to stay clear of any possibility of running it even into the expansion area, let alone the laterals that were sitting back there. And as the attorney mentioned earlier, staying that 10 feet away from
Right,
the
absolutely.
septic system.
Yeah, but we're pretty sure that the septic is in that area. We're not guessing that we think it's there. We're pretty sure.
That's not speculation. I don't have it in writing, but I did consult with the septic inspector. He said that's where it was. He pointed it out to me when I met with him.
All right.
This is, according to parcel access, this is R45.
It's not R90?
I don't know.
I think parcel access is wrong.
Is parcel access wrong?
Yeah. We looked at the map. Pretty sure this was the one I had to do.
I think it is R90.
Well, Mr. Wallace, based on what we learned, that there's about 76 square feet above what's allowable under the town code, would this application be able to be amended on the spot, or is a reapplication necessary? Given that the structure does exceed 25% of the principal residence.
It should be shown on the map as a deviation in the note, so they may have to amend the map, or they're gonna have to scale it back. And those are the two choices. So if they wanna, you can keep the meeting open until next time,
That's what
That's I think the simplest. That's the simplest solution.
or they can scale it back to 25%.
Excuse me. So I think that's the best solution. That's the path
I mean-
of resistance here, because to amend the application on the spot is a lot of work. It's 7 o'clock. Nobody's going to do that. Yeah.
Step by step.
Original, what he emailed, and you can see he's on the corner here, and it's showing his septic system.
Is back there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, beautiful.
Got it.
That's why we're trying to.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
No, that's helpful.
So,
I mean, according to,
go ahead, I'm sorry, Craig.
according to parcel access, you have square footage of 1998.
Yep.
But the first story, I have no idea what that means, 1326. So I'm pretty sure that that's the total.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So 25% of 1998 is 499.5.
So 500 we'll call it.
576 is the area of this structure. So we're over 76 square feet.
So you can consider it, but if you do allow for it, he has to submit new maps. With the notes.
So it would be, we would approve it that, with the,
As built.
yes, thank you, that he would go back and file. Which way do you suggest?
Probably that way.
Okay.
It's not 76 square feet.
Okay. You want to mention that too? So he's over by 76 square, right? For the 25%. We can go ahead and consider that tonight, as long as he's willing to go and amend his application first thing in the morning to add for the 25%, right?
Huge.
Or they can scale it back.
They can scale it back.
All right. Because the map appears that the 25% of the principal home and the square footage of the new building, you're over by like 76 square feet. So what should have been another variance requirement. So there's a couple choices here. You can either scale back the garage to cover up that 76, and we're back to the regular variance that you're asking for. Or we can consider that 76 as an additional variance with a stipulation that you would refile your application tomorrow downstairs with the clerk to ask for that 76 square feet variance of the 25% of the principal structure. So I'm going to ask you up front, would you rather scale back the building for the 76 feet so you're without asking for that variance, or would you like us to consider that tonight?
There's the last one, just the one.
Monday. Yes. So 155-26 is the A.
Principal structure.
Is the code section. So,
We're going to need that to put it in the minutes if we
yeah. So if you want to
55
cite that, Merson,
Yeah.
on the record.
That person just comes in at the next meeting for that,
But if we,
76 square feet.
well, we could consider it tonight, and if we choose to approve it, you would then, actually, it's Monday, you would go and readjust the application with the clerk or the building inspector, I'm sorry, to add for the extra variance.
Yeah, if we can go for that, if we can get that covered tonight as well, we can amend it tomorrow with Jessica.
I don't know if it's tomorrow, I was just.
Monday.
Aletha-
Monday.
Monday,
Monday.
yes, it would be Monday.
Yeah. You're just gonna,
Typically, your normal two-car garage is 24 by 24. Anything smaller, you're not gonna have any room to.
Put two. Yeah, now without opening your doors and slamming them. Yeah. Yeah, no, I understand. We just wanted to give you the option because there's no guarantee right at the moment, of it gets it or doesn't get it. But
when you amend your maps, you might want to show where the location of the septic and leach fields are, so that you can show that you comply with the code that of the distances. Yeah.
We have it on the other subdivision map, so we can look at the location on the actual site plan.
Also,
What was the code?
I can't read this map, but is the distance from the road to the garage depicted on the map? Is it? Yeah. You have that on there, okay.
Yeah.
Because that is the
76.
setback is from the road to the structure.
The 155 dash.
So yeah, we're only at, then we're 30 feet instead of the.
So in the map notes, if you could just address 155-26A, that is where these questions have been coming from, is those elements of that code. 155-26A1.
I mean, the 24, I can see the 24.
Sure. Yeah. I can absolutely understand.
It's almost like a normal garage.
Oh, that's exactly what it is. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Somebody that already has a two-car garage.
Sure, absolutely.
All right. All right. So the applicants asked us to go ahead and consider the extra 76 square foot due to the code, which is, what's the code, Merson?
155-26A-1.
Which,
Structure can be no larger than 25% of the principal structure of the home, the principal residence.
there you go.
Yep, so under section 155-26, accessory structures, detached accessory structures not exclusively used for farming or agricultural purposes shall be erected in accordance with the following requirements except as otherwise permitted herein. Detachment accessory structures over 120 square feet shall require a building permit, shall not be located within any required yards or within 10 feet of operative septic tanks and/or leach fields, shall be located no closer to the street than the front of the principal structure, shall respect the scale and character of the principal structure, and shall not exceed 25% of the principal structure in bulk, nor exceed the height of the principal structure. For fire safety purposes, a detached accessory structure shall be located in compliance within the New York State Uniform Fire Prevention and Building Code, and in any case no closer than 10 feet to the principal structure.
Okay.
Whoops.
Do we need a motion to consider that, Craig? Do we need to make a motion to consider that?
What is the board considering,
So to consider it as long as they are willing to amend it on Monday morning on their application.
Yeah.
So we make a motion, second it, and carry further consideration tonight.
So I'd like to make a motion.
Well, he's going to make this motion
He's
for
gonna make a
consideration.
motion.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'd
good.
like to make a motion for the consideration of the additional 76 square feet of area variance for the proposed structure.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, as of this moment, I do have some concerns, and I would like to know if you would be considering reducing the size of the building. I know you said, 24 by 24, and I can understand having two cars, but 24 lengthwise seems quite a bit. So,
Your parking space is 10 by 20.
I'm sorry?
Average parking space is 10 by 20.
Yes.
So that only gives them about 4 feet in front of the car for any kind of work tables and workstations for storage. So it makes it kind of tight to move around the car. If you figure your average furnished market to the supermarket, 10 by 20, you're kind of right in that nose.
Well, I'm-
Gives you about 3 feet all around.
Using my own experience and thinking of my own garage,
Yeah.
and, which is a standard garage, if you will. So, and there is plenty of room, and we do have plenty of accessories, if you will, all around. So you would not take in consideration reducing the building so that you can meet this requirement?
I agree with you that 24 by 24 is a nice size garage.
Yes.
I think part of the intention with undertaking this project was the idea that it could be a multi-purpose space, not just car storage, but also, like you said, accessories. The knickknacks one collects over a lifetime. I think that's part of the folklore of having a garage, is that it can be a space that you make your own. You know, how many companies have started in the garage, or how many bands have started in the garage. So it's less of a car storage solution and more of just an investment in the property, investment in the future there, that type of intention.
How much does 76 square feet reduce the garage size by?
You almost have to do like a 22 by 22 is, let's see, 22 by 22 is 44, 22 by 3. Even 22 by 23 are 506, so you're still 70 square feet. Well, if you want more savings, you're going to go to like a 22 by 22 to get 44.
Okay. All right, let's select the consider here. Yep.
Because the 24 by 24 is a self-made
Yes.
issue,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So, since the variances, and the application has essentially changed, we're going to make a motion to adjourn the public hearing, keep the meeting open, because the 5 questions are going to be completely different based on the information that we
We
just
just
learned.
brought them up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And,
So-
yeah, just that, so that's self-made.
yeah,
The 24 by 24
yeah,
is
that
a
is
self-made
self-made.
issue.
Yeah, so, yeah, we're going to make a motion to do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it will only have a public hearing on just the one piece, not the.
Yeah.
Okay, understood.
So at this time, the board I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the public hearing so that the applicant can re-examine the 5-question balancing test in light of the information that we've received this evening.
So you're going to direct the applicant to amend his application before this board to address both variances now, the side setback and the area variance for the accessory structure.
Yes.
Please, can you repeat that, sir?
So we're going to make a motion to adjourn the public hearing so that the applicant can re-examine the 5 the 5 balancing questions, and then address the additional variance for the additional square footage for the structure, which again exceeds the 25% allowable under the town code.
Okay, so you're retracting what you said
Yes,
before?
yep, because of the public wasn't made aware that there was a second variance, and it's sizable enough that we're worried they won't have the chance to ask the questions about the size of the building because they weren't aware of it. They were just worried about the front yard setback. Not that they'll be any more concerned now, but we think it may be enough that they'd at least like to be advised of that. So, and that's no reflection of whether we would or wouldn't give both variances. It's just that it's enough that when we look at a lot of the zoning laws and giving relief, one of the very first things we take into consideration is how your neighbors feel. And I sympathize with corner lot people because you end up with two front yards that shorten your zoning. And the biggest part for us starts with the neighbors. And it wasn't as concerning when it was just the front yard variance, even though that was sizable. It's just that we're kind of rolling with that square footage problem of the principal structure that we think if we're struggling with it, you know what, we make sure none of the neighbors are struggling with it. Okay. And we hate to make you come back, but if we leave the application open for now to next month, it gives you a chance to go down, amend the application, and be set for next month. And I believe, Craig, will they have to send back out to the neighbors?
No, it's a continuation of the public hearing.
Oh, so they know they have to
the
be.
new application and materials should be on the website, but you might want to instruct the applicant to make sure the square footage of the principal structure and the accessory structures are clearly spelled out, so that you know the scope of the amount of the variance they're seeking on the accessory structure.
Yeah, the 5 balancing questions that you've answered in your application, is the structure, is it self-made, can it be done anywhere else? All of those answers are based on your seeking relief of 32.5 feet. That doesn't address the additional 76 square feet that you're asking for. So that's new information that we've learned tonight. So based on your original application and the new information that we've learned this evening, it changes the integrity of your application, which is why we're going to make the motion to leave this hearing open so you don't have to go and do all of those mailings and requests all over again. Amend your application with the town clerk and the building inspector. Get everything up to date, include section 155-26A-1, which you're asking for approximately 76 square feet of relief, given that structure does exceed the 25% allowable under the town code. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Is that clear?
Yes, so that's, when you say amend the application, is that just me filing a new application, or would I just request the old one and actually make the amendments on a separate form or an additional form?
You can go to the clerk or the building inspector on Monday morning, and they'll walk you through the whole thing. It's very, very simple. It'll be one or the other, and I know that's a non-answer answer.
Good enough for me.
But again, the clerk and the building inspector here, they're wonderful folks. They'll walk you through it very painlessly, and you'll be well in time for the next month's hearing. But I think that's the path of least resistance here, and I think it's put you in the best position to state your case to the board, get your ducks in a row, and make sure everything is as accurate as possible for yourselves and for us next month. Is that fair?
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks so much. I appreciate your time. All right.
So motion to adjourn the public hearing to a date certain. So what's the next? Lisa, what's the next
Yeah,
date?
that's what I'm looking at right now.
It's August 3.
August 3. So I'd like to make a motion to adjourn tonight's public hearing until the next town hearing, which is August 3rd. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, Jason. I was going to say your last name. Thank you, Jason.
Guys, thanks
Thank you
again.
for your time. Thank you for
Appreciate
everything. We appreciate your
Yes.
time very much tonight. We'll see you on August 3rd.
Give us 5 seconds, we'll bring the CAC up. Hey, Craig.
I live in a garage. I don't live in a garage, but
Yes, I understand.
in the community.
And you know what? My garage. God bless husbands. I have this huge train set up.
Right. Yep.
Yes, we do have shows. And we can still make it, not as well as I would like it. But I remember when all of this stuff was in there.
Just think how interesting if we can get bigger, just for your communities, but not the neighbors getting used. And that's having the diversity on the
Yeah.
board works. We account for
You want to hit the CAC?
the CSE.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
go ahead, you got it.
yep, thank you. So at this time, the Conservation Advisory Council presentation for the Town of Beekman Natural Resources Inventory Project will begin. Could you state your name for the record, please?
Well, thank you first of all, Phil, for setting this up.
Well, Merson got you in and Aletha scheduled you. We're good.
Yeah, could you go near the microphone, please?
Right into this.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. A couple years ago, we received a grant to develop a natural resource inventory for the town of Beekman. And one of the obligations that if we got the grant would be to, once we finish the project, we would have to show it to the town board and show it also to the zoning board and also through the planning board. We've done the planning board, we did the town board, and we've been dragging our feet to show zoning for a whole host of reasons.
They've been
Anyway,
asking me
so
for
here
2
we
years.
Here we are tonight to do that, and thanks to Phil, finally got it arranged for us. I think the amazing part of this, we were able to put this thing together over a couple-year period, right in the middle of the COVID problem, which when we started it, we didn't have that, and then all of a sudden we got hit with that. Well, a program like this requires lots of maps and people to get together at a meeting. We didn't have one meeting. We worked on Zoom, which I hate, and then we also worked through the internet, and we were able to pull it off in a couple of years. And I think we ended up with a very good, something that the town can utilize in the future. Shannon will go into the overview of the program, but there's basically 19 maps we put together, and they were relatively easy to develop. We had some help with that, but then we had narratives, very detailed narratives about each one of the items. For instance, give you an example, wetlands. We have a narrative about wetlands, very detailed. Some of that stuff required a lot of research because we didn't just know all the information on that. But anyway, Sharon is she was the team leader, did a hell of a good job, and so she'll be making the presentation, and I'll just get out of here. And thanks again.
Thank
Phil.
you so much
Phil,
for your
you
guys'
haven't
time.
seen the presentation, have you?
I have not.
And by the way, Pat Christie, who's sitting in the audience, Pat is a new member of the CAC. He went to his first meeting this past week, and I invited him to come because he hasn't heard the presentation either. So, Shannon, you're on. I guess you're up here.
Shannon, before you start, it's real important that everybody understands that the CAC, the Conservation Action Committee, what they've done with this and a lot of the projects that they have done has been able to give more information to the planning boards and the zoning boards of what else is out there to take into consideration, not only when a project's being built, but also when we're making requirements trying to give homeowners relief. Because some of the things that are just not written into the zoning laws, but that are pertinent to the environment has been identified, which in the past hasn't been identified. And a lot of towns actually have used their NRI to make decisions on certain projects. There's stuff that may only be located in one section of the town, and it's very important to keep it. And Beekman had such things. The rules aren't law. They can't make you go one way or the other, but they help you make a decision on whether to approve of something that may be either very vital to the town of Beekman, or it's only located right here in this little section of the town of Beekman. So it's just one of the other tools in the toolbox, and these guys did a real good job on putting it together. How long ago was it you guys did this?
We started in 2020.
And
Around April, I want to say, of 2020, we started discussing it around November, December of 2019, and then we really started getting going on it in like March, April of 2020.
And when I say the CAC is a Conservation Action Committee, you would think it's like the most tree-hugging group of people you would meet, but we have the owner of a company that they log in clear lands, given his input. We have me, who is very commercial oriented on making sure that commercial properties go in the right part of towns, because I want to see the commercial tax base come in to take the pressure off of residential. And we have the people that are just concerned about the environment altogether to boot. We have a really diversified group in the CAC, and it's not just what you would think as a typical CAC. It's really quite interesting how the group gets along, and they have passed particular laws. Cliff, what was it that you have gotten through a couple years back? It wasn't.
Wetland law, wetland and stream law, the forestry law.
Yeah, there was a lot of good.
There are a lot of official laws in the town of Beekman right now. And I was remiss to say here that they're all on the town of Beekman website. Also, everything that Shannon presents today will be in great detail on the town of Beekman website also. All the maps, all the narratives are there for your use. And I think one of the obligations we had was to give it to the public. Well, that's how we give it to the public, through having a videotape.
Yep.
Each of those presentations were videotaped. This one will be also. Public can see it because it goes on the town website.
And the one thing that has occurred for sure since I've been on this board and the CAC and working with the planning board is a lot of the stuff they have done haven't stopped projects, but they have moved projects into an area that made it very cohesive for the natural resource to either remain or be repaired. So it's been interesting. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be when I got on the CAC, but it's been an asset to the town of Beekman. And with that, Shannon, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Shannon, I live on Cedar Lane here in the town of Beekman. Cliff did a really good job introducing me, but he didn't really tell you who he was, so that's Cliff's work. He's the chair of the CAC. I'm here to give you the presentation on the Natural Resource Inventory project that the Conservation Advisory Council did a few years ago. Cliff was going back and forth on whether or not we were going to present, and then he would change his mind, so I've been standing here waiting for him to pick. So, if you want to just, so you'll see that she's got the presentation up on the board there. Nate Nardi Cyrus was our helper from the Department of Environmental Conservation that we got the grant from. So we received the grant from the Department of Environmental Conservation Hudson River Estuary Program. The natural resource inventory for the town of Beekman, I am hoping that they will utilize that in the redevelopment of their comprehensive plan. So this is one of their big informational materials that they can use when they build out the comprehensive plan for the town. If you want to, do you want me to come over there and scroll, or do you, it's up to you, whatever you want to do.
It might be easier for you because you know the presentation. I mean, I can.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know.
You guys can hear me from
Yeah,
there.
because we're watching it right here.
It has to be connected to this port, so I'll just
please.
That's all right, they have mics up here for you.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's up to you. I think I
You're
can
good.
talk loud enough.
Yeah.
So what we did, as the town of Beekman CAC, we partnered with the town of Unionville with regards to the grant. So these, so there's us, the town of Unionville, the Hudson River Estuary Program, which was our grantee, and Cornell Cooperative Extension, which Sean from Cornell Cooperative Extension, Dutchess County, provided us the maps. So he did the GIS work to develop the maps, and we wrote the like the detailed specifics about our town. This program set up by the DEC, it works to develop resilient communities, helps with education, access, recreation, inspires people to do stuff, supports fish and wildlife habitats, and this is where we got the money from to do the work. Basically, this slide just kind of is the process we went through to get started. So we had to figure out, what do we have, how do we prioritize, and then to incorporate this into the comprehensive plan to help support the town in our management. So what is a natural resource inventory? Well, it's a lot of things. It's geology and soil, water, habitats and wildlife, all kinds of land use, farming, development, residential uses, commercial usage, cultural stuff like cemeteries can be incorporated in that, and also climate conditions like roads and stuff. So basically, this also goes into identifying what you've got here. So that's kind of what we did to start. So our goals when we started the project were basically really to support the town with the comprehensive plan, because that's really the foundation for what our work here. Here's what the meetings used to look like. And then obviously we're back to those now, but in this, when we were doing this, they kind of looked like that. And if you see that little guy in the corner, he's the Zoomie. So we did most of these meetings on Zoom, and Cliff is great at technology. He's gotten way better since the first one to the last one. So we were able to develop 19 natural resource inventory maps, and there's 19 with parcels, labeled parcels, and without. So you have the ability to look for both. As parcels are added, however, they do not get updated. So, you know, keep that in mind. They're just kind of, we do have paper copies of some of the maps, not all of them. We didn't print them out. But with regards to having internet access, I feel like the ability to Zoom on the computer is much more important than having the paper copy, because it is a permanent scale. The GIS maps, the electronic stuff that we have online, is zoomable all the way in,
Nice.
which is really nice. So we talked about our NRI incorporates something called the physical setting. And the maps in this section include topography and elevation, steep slopes, which we have, which Cliff was really integral in, like supporting that law. Bedrock geology, which Katie, another CAC member, she basically wrote that entire section of, and then surficial geology, both of those Katie wrote pretty much. And then these are just some examples of the kinds of maps that are available and what they kind of look like. I picked the ones without the parcels on them because they didn't look as busy on the presentation, but you can take a look at them at your leisure. I can click on the link and we can go over how to zoom in and take a look at it. They are all in color. Yeah, I don't know. This is just black and white, but I have the color PDF also. So our next one was water resources, and the maps in this section include aquifers, stream and watersheds, water quality classification, floodplains and riparian areas, stream habitats, and wetlands. And Cliff, this is another big one that Cliff like really went and had the town pass a specific law on our wetlands. So the description that we have with regards to maps, Cliff actually wrote, and he knows that law in and out, and that is integrated into the description of the map. And these are just two more maps. No parcels again, but. And then we talked about habitats and wildlife, landscape, significant habitats, important biodiversity areas, and large forests are incorporated into those topics. We also have, and I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you guys, so the map over there on the side is significant habitats in the town of Beekman. We also have a pretty comprehensive set of maps on the significant habitats specific to the town of Beekman that we did with, who was that with, Cliff? Hudsonia. So we have those available as well, and they are also online. Next was land use. So those maps include the agricultural resources and conservation lands. You can kind of see how they are a little bit different everywhere you go. And if you take a look at the real map, the identifiers down on the left-hand side are really easy to pick out on the color. So here's our project timeline. I will tell you that we were not even close to meeting this goal. So Nate had big ideas of us being done in the spring of 2021, and that did not happen, but we definitely finished the project by the end of 2021. We started it in February. The town board passed a resolution and allowed us to move forward on the project. And it basically took us almost 2 years to finish the complete project with, you know, everybody. I mean, our CAC is working people. Everybody gotta go to work and stuff. So it's hard to put out that amount of time on a project, but we were able to do it. So this is just an example of how we can incorporate the natural resource inventory into the town's comprehensive plans, and with regards to any zoning updates we may make. The city of Kingston, and I don't know if you, the city of Kingston has a very, like, they do a lot of conservation stuff, and their natural resource inventory is great. But two examples of how they have incorporated their natural resource inventory is they've utilized that in support of their open space plan and have developed an open space inventory. Town of Gardner has provided off of their natural resource inventory a site plan application checklist. Town of Rhinebeck also has incorporated those things. We have not gotten that far yet with that. We're just still, you know, trying to figure out where we're going to go.
Our areas, yeah.
Prioritizing and getting everybody familiar with how to look at the maps, and then maybe we can go through that later. This can make it a little bit, having a checklist can make it easier for the town, for the boards to review, and also for the applicants in their application process. This is what we're looking for. So another example of this is that it establishes jurisdiction and communication with the applicant. So it kind of they get more familiar with the building inspector, because that's one more piece of paper that they have to sign and fill out. So if you, yeah, no, it's not working. You don't have this on an email somewhere, do you? Do you have internet to this?
Yeah.
We'll go here. All the maps are here. So here's what the document looks like. Katie, another of our CAC members, provided all of the photos. But it's a pretty comprehensive plan, comprehensive document. It's 103 pages. You know, it's easier to just pick your topic and use it as a resource than to like try to read the whole thing outright, but.
John's on the board too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here's one of the maps. This one's on land use. And the legend down at the bottom explains all of the data points here on the map. And then I'm just trying to see if I can zoom here. Yeah. This is zoomable like all in. So like right where that guy's, where he wants to put the garage there,
Yep.
you can, I see his road right here.
Yep.
Yeah, his house is that triangle.
Oh, okay.
The triangle on Bone, that's where Bo.
I think that's as far as you can zoom in on this map, but it is pretty good.
Yeah.
And it actually is usable on your cell phone because John uses it all the time on his phone. I don't know how, there's no way I could see that, but he does. And this one has parcels on it. I feel like there was a section of this where they had them labeled parcels, non-parcels, but I think that might be in the town. So these are in two locations. You can find these in the town documents section of the website for the town of Beekman, and you can also find these on the CAC individual page. And that's as far as we go there. I mean, you still get pretty good resolution on zooming and everything like that, so. Anyone you want to look at that thoughts? Feel free to take a look at them on your own. But I think that's everything that I've got. I just, you know, here to show you guys what we've done. And I think Cliff has big plans about doing another project similar to this soon.
You guys did a great job on this. When I had looked over it, the one thing I really noticed when the application does get in effect, you know, where an applicant looking to do something with a piece of property going before the planning board goes through that application like Gardner or Hyde Park uses, it'll make it so much easier to identify stuff that the planning board may or may not be concerned with. And when it comes down to us, a lot of times those things have already been approved at the planning board level, and we see them when they're coming in to ask for relief from something. And sometimes we're right on the verge of should we or should we not? And what's the impact? Is the impact to the neighbor? Or now we have somewhere where we can go and say, are we encroaching on something on the NRI map, and we can flip it right up and say, wow, how close does he come into that area, you know? And it's just another, like I said, it's another tool in the belt that says, you know, all right, we gotta look closer at this. And, you know, because there's a lot of times that we're right on the fence of relief on the variance end of zoning, you know, on whether it impacts the neighbor or the environment, you know. Because if it was just flat out legal, they wouldn't need to come before us.
Right.
So all these things really, they help me appreciate all the work you guys have done. I know all the time you guys put into it. I don't know where you guys find the time to do it, but God bless you.
Yeah.
You know, so thank you very much for coming and doing that for us. I know I've been promising Cliff for well over a year to try to get it here so we can get it done, and it's been a while. I think it was about a month ago. I think I talked to you about it. Yeah. Yep. So, but yes, we look forward to all the good work you guys are doing. You know, and the comprehensive plan's coming up, and I know the section they want to work on. You know, we're going to have on the CSC. We're going to have a lot of input on, you know, how we'd like to see that progress. You know, so thank you very much. I appreciate it, guys.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
It was great, yeah.
Yeah, ready to close meeting?
Meeting's closed.
All right, we're good. Thank you.
Yeah, meeting.
Yes.
Formally, it's not.